In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the automation so you can send your Facebook videos, whether they're live or whether they're uploaded, to YouTube. One note though, when we send Facebook Lives to YouTube, we're not sending it while you're streaming, we're sending it afterwards. So everything we do happens after the live is over. First, we need to make sure we have our YouTube connection and our Facebook connection set up. If you've already done this, you don't need to do it again, but I'm going to show you for those who are starting off. You choose YouTube, you click Add Connection, give it a name. It's going to give it Handy's YouTube. One thing to note though, if it's a brand new account or you haven't used your YouTube account, make sure you read this here and click the link to verify your YouTube account. Otherwise, it's not going to let you upload videos longer than 15 minutes. Verification is super simple. You click here, answer a few questions, and you're good to go. It's very, very important. I'm going to click yes. It's going to pop up. I'm going to choose my YouTube account and click allow. Done. Number two, I need to add my Facebook. Choose Facebook, click add connection, give it a name. One thing to note here, we're not connecting a page or a group. We're just connecting a Facebook account, right? This is just a main account, I guess your personal profile or your main profile. Later on, we'll decide which group or which Facebook page we're going to repurpose from. So I'm just going to give it a name and I'm going to click connect. It's going to pop up. I'm going to continue as myself and click OK. And we're good to go. Now we go to the workflow page and create our automation, what we call a workflow. In this automation, we're going to go from Facebook page to YouTube. This can be any name that you want, but the more explicit, the more clear you are here, the easier it gets when you go and look at your workflows later. So just going from a page to YouTube, check my input. I'm going to be doing a Facebook video. If you're repurposing lives, you would choose live. In my demo, I'm going to choose videos, which means uploaded videos. And it's going to choose my page from the list. Obviously, if you're doing groups, you can repurpose from groups, but we highly recommend you do things from a page as we explained in the previous video. Choose a page and I'm going to choose my page. Awesome. So that's the starting point. That's the input. We're starting with Facebook's videos from this page. Next step, I want you to upload the video and leave it as full video. So don't worry about the other options because when we repurpose to YouTube, we're going to repurpose the entire video. So leave those as default. And last but not least, I want you to go and choose your YouTube connection. By default, it's going to upload it to your main YouTube channel and it's not going to assign it to a playlist. That's fine if you're starting off, but I highly recommend to create a playlist that's dedicated to the theme, the topic that you're uploading these videos from. For example, let's say I'm doing a series on how to repurpose content. I would create a playlist that would maybe be called repurposing your content. And I'm going to say create playlist. When I create this, what it's doing is actually making the playlist on YouTube. And now each time this workflow sends videos, it's going to send it to that playlist. So again, if you're not sure or you don't really know what playlist to create, I would say just leave it to none, which is the default setting. But I would like you at some point, whether now or later, to go ahead and create a playlist so that all your videos from Facebook go under one playlist. The main advantage of doing a playlist is that when YouTube plays related videos, there's a high chance that one of your other videos from the same playlist will appear. So it just gives you more exposure for people watching your content on YouTube. Gonna hit create workflow. All right, so we have our workflow. If I click view videos, I should be able to see all my videos from my Facebook page. Let's walk through the critical settings. These are the settings that you gotta set one time. You never have to change. So for when we go from Facebook to YouTube, I want you to leave everything as original. I don't want you to resize it to any other shape. I want you to leave the Facebook captions as disabled because YouTube will display the captions automatically. And if you have them burnt into your video, they're going to appear twice and it doesn't look as good. So when you're sending it to YouTube, I would leave this option disabled. For advanced users, you have the option to upload an intro or an outro video file to Repurpose, and we will add it to every single video before we publish it to YouTube, either in the beginning for an intro or at the end for an outro. For YouTube, I don't know if you necessarily need one, but if you want to, I would do just an intro file. One thing to note, make sure that the intro matches the output. For example, for YouTube, we're outputting the original size, which means horizontal. So our intro video must also be horizontal. Otherwise, it's going to look funny. There's a great tool called invideo.io that even have a section called intros and outros. If you click on that, they show you all their templates that you can choose from. For example, you can make a cool logo appear, something like that. The idea is you want to brand these videos with your brand, your logo, your website, so people can recognize your brand when they see it over and over and over again in every single video on your YouTube channel. For the call to action, I highly recommend you set it to before the description and put it in as 2 separate lines. Here's what I mean. You give a call to action text, for example, try out Repurpose for free, and then the second line, you put a link. Keep it short, keep it clean. And when we set it to before the description, this will force this call to action to always appear as the first 2 lines of all your YouTube videos that we send over from Facebook. For the call to action link, since we've added the link here, we can just leave this as blank and don't worry about this right now. Keywords are really important on YouTube. It helps people find your videos. It helps your videos rank better for certain terms when people are searching for them. So it's important that you put keywords when uploading videos to YouTube. So we make this easier for you. So in the workflow settings, we give you an opportunity to put in all the keywords that you want to appear on every single video. So you can paste them once right inside of here, and they will automatically be added to every video that is sent by Repurpose inside this workflow. You also have a chance to add specific keywords when you publish the episode as well. So you can extend this list to make it more relevant. I'll show you that in the next step. Next, you want to see if you want your privacy to be public. We're going to leave that as public. And we're going to choose here a category that's relevant. So I like the how-to and style because a lot of my videos are how-to type videos. Thumbnails are really important on YouTube. It helps capture people's attention when they're scrolling through a list of videos to find your video. So if you've taken the time to choose a thumbnail on Facebook or design and upload one on Facebook, then if you turn this option on, which we highly recommend, we will pass that thumbnail from Facebook and make it your YouTube thumbnail for you automatically. Next one is if you've done the same thing with subtitles. If you've turned on the subtitles on Facebook, you've cleaned them up, we can automatically send the subtitle file to YouTube. Subtitles are also important on YouTube because they use them to index your video. So for example, if you're talking about podcasting and content marketing and video marketing in your videos, the captions file is also another factor that helps your videos get found as well. So if you've taken the time, which we do recommend, to clean up your captions and fix them up on Facebook, turn this option on so that we send those as well to YouTube. This is not burning it into the video, but this is sending what's called an SRT file or a captions file so that YouTube can read it and help you index your videos so they can be found more easily. And last but not least, you can turn on email notifications if you want to get an email from Repurpose when each time a video is sent out. I like to leave it off for now, but on some workflows, you may want to turn it on just to make sure things are running smoothly. Gonna hit save. Now I'm ready to publish my first video. So if I click publish, I'm just gonna review what's going on here. First, the title. We pull in this title from Facebook. So you don't have to touch it. You don't have to change it. You could if you want to, but if you've taken the time to set it all up properly on Facebook, you shouldn't have to touch the title. Captions, let's leave it at none, because that's how we set it up in the workflow settings, because we don't want the captions to be burnt into the video on YouTube, because YouTube puts its own captions on top of it. And we've already set it up to send the corrected captions to YouTube automatically. So make sure this is set to none when going to YouTube. The description, this is our call to action that we added. It automatically added it on top. And this description, the rest of this description came directly from Facebook. So the nice thing is you don't have to type in the description again because we've already taken the time to do it on Facebook. Keywords, these are the keywords from our workflow settings that are generic to all the videos that we're going to add to YouTube for using this workflow. But if you do have specific keywords, for example, this video I'm talking a little bit about more social media, I can add those as well. So here's your opportunity to add 1 or 2 more, 3 more keywords that are relevant to this specific video. Upload custom YouTube thumbnail, we're going to ignore that. You know why? Because we've already turned on the option earlier to tell it to pass the thumbnail from Facebook directly. So, when we do that everything on Facebook initially, we don't need to be doing a lot of work when we actually publish the episode. So if I'm ready, I can go ahead and hit publish, but ideally I would recommend you schedule it. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule this for Monday. Let's say, 8:55 a.m. as an example. You got to do a little bit of research. You got to find out. There's some tools out there that might help you, but to be honest, don't overthink it. Just pick a day and let it go live on that day. Preferably, during daytime, morning type thing. Then you hit schedule. It enters the queue just like usual. And in a few seconds, if I just refresh my page, boom, it's done. The video's done, the video's ready. And on Monday, it's gonna be published. So if I just hover over here, it's gonna show me when it's going to be published. Okay, now let's pretend it's Monday, the video has published. You can click on this icon and it will take you right to YouTube. Now let me show you a bunch of cool things here. First, the captions, the ones that you've cleaned up on Facebook and you've told Repurpose to send to YouTube are automatically on. And these are the cleaned up version, not the ones that YouTube generates. This is awesome because you don't have to go into YouTube and edit the transcriptions that they generate. You've already sent it the cleaned version. Number 2, if you scroll, first thing you see right to here, we added the call to action and our link is clickable. So YouTube is friendly. YouTube lets you add clickable links to your description. That's powerful. Someone's watching your video and right off the top, they can see your call to action and they can click through. And number 3, which is a bonus tip, if you look down, we've added the timestamps when we created the video back on Facebook. Now what happens is YouTube is smart. It picks up that you have timestamps in your videos and automatically makes them clickable. So when someone clicks, it jumps right to that part of the video. That's awesome because you don't have to worry about doing this manually. We already take this information from Facebook and pass it on to YouTube for you. And last but not least, if you go to edit video, it automatically uploaded the thumbnail that we chose from Facebook. So in summary, the more you do on Facebook, thumbnails, titles, etc., the less work you have to do when you go to repurpose it to YouTube and other platforms. All right, now if you want to put things on autopilot, which means you want to take your Facebook videos from your page and have them automatically sent to YouTube without having to click the publish button, you can do that by switching this switch from manual to auto. But before you do that, I want to show you 2 things. One, if you go to the settings, you can go in and say, choose which videos to auto publish. By default, it's all, which means it's going to take every single video on that page and automatically push it on to YouTube. If that's what you want, you're good to go. But if you want videos to only go out after a certain date, let's say you don't want anything from last year, you want something from this year, or you want something starting tomorrow to automatically go to YouTube and nothing earlier, you can choose this option and say, okay, starting, let's say Monday the 18th, I don't want anything prior to that to go to auto publish. So you set the date and you click save. And then when I turn this on, it's going to warn me, you want to put everything into the queue for publishing. I'm going to say, okay. But nothing is going to go in the queue because all my videos are prior to Monday the 18th. And then Monday morning comes, I put a video on Facebook or I go live on Facebook, then it will automatically go to YouTube if auto is on. So let me shut it off. And the last thing I want to show you, if, for example, you want to pick and choose which ones you want, but you still want to keep automation going, Here's a little cool hack for you. So under settings, you can say, set all the videos to publish, and then you can say, only import videos that contain certain hashtags. So I'm gonna make up a hashtag called Repurpose IO. Okay, so I'm gonna tell my workflow, I'm gonna put you in auto, and then I don't want you to do anything until you see the hashtag Repurpose IO either in the title or in the description of my Facebook video or my Facebook live stream. If you don't see it, don't do anything. So I'm gonna set that up here and click save. Now you can see all my videos are hidden now because they don't have that hashtag. But if I go to workflows and kick that workflow into auto, it's gonna give you a warning. You say yes, and go ahead, put it to auto, and I go back to here, still nothing because none of my videos had that hashtag. All I need to do is go back to my Facebook and edit that video and put the hashtag Repurpose IO, the same hashtag that I used in my workflow settings. Again, this could be any hashtag. I'm just using Repurpose IO as an example. And I hit save. And then within an hour or so, because Repurpose checks videos every hour, Repurpose will find the hashtag, find that video, and start processing it automatically. You don't even need to go into Repurpose. But if you do want to go in and make it happen faster, you visit that workflow again, Facebook page to YouTube, go view videos, still nothing. All you need to do is hit the green resync, and it goes and checks with Facebook. And then it's going to notice, oh, I see the hashtag now. Boom, there's that video, and it's already queued for processing. So this is a great way to control which content goes out to YouTube while still maintaining the automation. Let me quickly summarize how this works. You create a workflow, Facebook to YouTube. You go to the settings, you add the hashtag, you turn the workflow on auto, and then you go live. And after you're live, you can take your time. You don't have to worry about Repurpose picking up your video with the bad description or without, the detailed thumbnail or without the captions. You don't have to worry. You take your time. Whether you or someone on your team can go in, do everything we described earlier, title, description, SRT, thumbnail, a good solid description, timestamps, put all that information in Facebook, and then add that special hashtag and click save, and only then will Repurpose kick in and publish that video to YouTube. It doesn't happen instantly. It takes about an hour, but it still happens automatically.